G'day guys, welcome back to the Wannabe Runner. It is Father's Day 2021, so happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there watching, especially to my dad. Happy Father's Day, Dad. It's the end of a very big week of running and walking for me. Managed 117 kilometers running this week, which is another all-time personal best for me in a week, and my body's still feeling really good. Well aware that I've got two more huge weeks coming up, two more around 120, maybe 125, 130. We'll see how I'm going. I don't want to push it, don't want to overdo it, but this might be the only time in my life where I have this much spare time that I'm able to run this many kilometers. Just with the COVID lockdowns and stuff, no travel to work, no responsibilities of taking kids to sport, no sport coaching. I do have a fair bit more time than I normally would, so kind of wondering if I should just really push it and use this time and do as much running and walking as possible, because it might be the best chance I ever get at running a really fast, well for me, a really fast marathon time. Started introducing a little bit more speed work, just a little bit, because I just feel like I'm getting in a little bit of a rut of not being able to find any pace in my legs. Definitely feeling fit, but not feeling fast at all. I don't want to leave the speed development too late in the program, so just did a little bit of it this week. My highlight of the week was definitely the Tuesday morning. Went out for a 28k run, just exploring the tracks around me. I went out with the goal of running between 25 and 30k's and trying to run total elevation gain of 1 kilometer. And I definitely got the K. I got, I think from memory, about 1150 meters elevation gain in that run. I'd say in terms of elevation gain, I probably overdid it for this stage of training. Not that I felt too sore or anything afterwards, but I just don't think it's necessarily all that helpful being 5 or 6 weeks out from a marathon. In terms of speed work, I was pretty happy with how things went on Friday. I went to run my old short course near my old house in Ferntree Gully, 3.25k loop that I used to do, and I was pretty pleased with the time. I think it was about my third best time I've ever run, so that was nice. But I noticed about 30 seconds after I'd stopped after completing the course, I felt like I had just about caught my breath totally back again. I was pretty pleased with that, so I thought, oh well, I'll try and go and run it again. Got the time, so I went and ran a second rep of that, and then about halfway through that I figured there's no point doing it twice, I might as well do it 3 times. So the first rep was obviously the quicker one of the 3, but I didn't drop off all that much to my second and my third, and my third was faster than my second, so it was quite fun doing that. Well, fun in a way, it was a bit of a killer at the same time. 3.25k's pretty much maximal effort, with about 3 minutes rest in between. Not something I'd do every day, but as I said, I'm just trying to bring in a little bit of speed work, so that was how I did that this week. And then, as always, one of my main highlights of the week was my Sunday morning run with Adam. And again, I was out showing him around my hills for once, after he's been showing me around his hills for the last few months really. So it was a very enjoyable way to start Father's Day this year. So overall for the week, very pleased with the running, with how that's coming, and with each passing week that I don't get injured running these higher volume Ks, I'm very grateful for that. In terms of walking, had a fair bit of time out walking this week as well, mostly with my girls because they're doing Steptember along with me, just trying to get at least 10,000 steps every day, which is a bit of a challenge when you're doing online learning because we're stuck in front of a screen all day. So we've been on a few 5k walks throughout the week, doing one right now which should get me, I think if my maths is correct, should be at about 23k's by the end of this week. I was looking back at my very first vlog that I did, I don't know, 16 weeks ago or whatever it is now, maybe more, and I did say in that I really wanted to keep up the walking even in those higher volume running weeks, because I do feel like it is doing me really good in terms of recovery and just helping my legs not seize up too much, things like that. So it's great now that I'm in those weeks of high volume running, that I am still able to find time for walking. And as I said earlier, that's probably got a lot to do with the fact that we're still in lockdown. So I'm not sure I will be able to do this amount of walking and running in the future, but making the most of it while I can. Speaking of lockdown, I think we're only about 5 weeks out from the date of the Melbourne Marathon, and I'd say there's a 1% chance of that actually happening, probably less than 1% chance. So that is disappointing. I'll continue to prepare for it because I've been preparing for it for months and months, but with the full realization that it's probably not going to happen, I'm just going to have to do something on my own on that date. But I'll just keep working towards it, and if it happens, I'll be surprised, and if it doesn't, I'll still try and run an all-time marathon PB that day anyway. For regular viewers of the channel, you might notice there has been and there is no featured run going on in the corner there. My wife tells me it is a distraction, which doesn't mean that I'm not going to use it in the future, but it does mean that I hadn't filmed one this week, and I thought I'd just see how the video goes without it. Let me know in the comments below if you think she's right. Now, I don't have a tip of the week this week, and that's okay. I'm not just going to make one up on the fly, but I do have a question. It was nice seeing a couple of responses to last week's video. Thanks for that. This week I'm wondering if you have a goal in mind, an event that you're working towards. I'd love to hear it. Or it might not be an actual event, maybe you're just working towards running a distance that you've not run before without stopping. Or you might be trying to ride your fastest up a certain mountain, whatever it might be. So I'd love to hear what's on the horizon for you. What are you working towards? What are you hoping to achieve in the next month or two? Anyway, that's it for me this week. Short and sharp. I want to thank you for watching The Wannabe Runner, and I will see you again next week.